It is time we tell our own story by ourselves, in our own language, the African way. We are taught by our forefathers that we are all related in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in myself. This is Africa. My Africa. This is Getting Real with Phina. Hello out there. Welcome to another exciting episode of your show, Getting Real with Phina. Every day, families face the rigors of peer pressure. Youths are being pressurized by their friends and their peers. Youths are left to make their decisions by themselves. This and other issues are what we are going to be discussing on the show today. Don't go away. We shall be right back. Welcome back to your show, Getting Real with Phina. If you're just joining us, we are on the topic peer pressure. Very interesting one. We shall be talking about peer pressure and finding solutions on how to solve them. I have in the studio with me today our on-air personality, Azuka Inolo. Azuka, you're welcome again.
It's so good to be back, Phina. It was exciting the last time. I'm sure this will be even greater. Thanks for having me back.
Thank you very much. We also have in the studio a very young girl who is going to be speaking for the youth. Blessing Ademolu, a student. And we have a motivational speaker, Mr. Shedrack Bosa.
Thank you, Phina, and hello viewers. Nice to be with you again.
Thank you. I want Blessing to tell us what peer pressure is and how you respond to peer pressure.
Thank you, ma'am. Peer pressure, as I understand, is when you're influenced to do something you don't want to do. And you're also influenced to do something you want to do because you want to feel among and you want to be in the society, you want to be among an activity going on around you. And the signs and problem I notice among peer pressure is that in peer pressure, you want to feel among, because if you don't fit in, you give yourself low esteem. And you always want to do something that everybody around you will see that, yes, this girl, she's among us. And how to solve, or how to navigate peer pressure problem is that you don't give yourself low esteem, saying I cannot do this. Especially we talk about that in academic performance. If you have a friend, she's doing well in school, and you're such a person that you don't do well in academics, but you have a talent that will make sure that person, that your friend, does not have that same talent with you, but that's your talent. You can use it to shine yourself out in any way you see.
I like the word shine yourself out. Azuka, what do you think? Shine yourself out. I love that.
It's an amazing word, you know. I don't know where she got it from, but it's amazing. And her definition of peer pressure, Phina, is in its totality.
Wow.
I agree.
Wow.
Peer pressure, it depends on where you come from.
Yeah.
People stereotype peer pressure to be just either teenagers or 20s. It's ageless.
It's ageless.
It just is ageless.
Even in marriage?
Even in marriage,
there's peer pressure.
you know, amongst girlfriends, there's at any age, at any time, there's peer pressure. Amongst married men, there's peer pressure. Peer pressure, you know, it cuts across so many age groups, and which goes to prove what could influence peer pressure is your how you esteem yourself. Okay. She mentioned it. You know, how you see yourself influences how you get influenced by external people. I asked a question once to a friend of mine. I said, I had this experience that had me ask the person that question. I was about 15 years old, Phina, and I remember watching my girlfriends. Something happened. They weren't happy with what a girl did, and they bought eggs, and they threw the eggs at this girl.
Wow.
I did not like what was going on.
Wow.
But I didn't say anything. I regret that today. Had I relived that moment, I would have stood up and said, listen, what you're doing is absolutely, because this is what I stand for today. Okay, I'm actually an anti-peer pressure. I talk about it, I sleep it, I eat it. Okay. If you remember the last time I said, sometimes I don't do things just because I want not to do them. Just because everybody else is doing it. I'm a rebel, I walk against traffic. So if I could relive that moment, I would have said, don't do that. Because she terribly, she cried for days, she didn't come out, she stunk of crude eggs and all that stuff. So, I think it's really how you feel about yourself. Some people, it also goes into some form of bullying, but as we go along, peer pressure links to bullying. And it all comes from low self-esteem.
Yeah, Shadrach.
Wow. To me, when you talk about peer pressure in a simple and concise language, is when you allow yourself to be influenced either negatively or positively by people around you, your friends or colleagues, and maybe your classmate if you're in school. That is my own simple definition of peer pressure. But let's look at why are young people especially pressured to do things they don't want to do, or maybe on a lesser percentage thing they want to do, because peer pressure is linked to only the negative, but forgetting that there's also the positive aspects of it. Yes. So somebody can influence you positively to do things that ordinarily, maybe you may not have discovered yourself, but somebody can influence you to discover who you really are. And from there, you build up. But I want to look at how young people especially are pressured, because to me, I have passion for the young people. I work with young people. I go to school to speak to young people. So that is why I'm so passionate about this peer pressure. Now, one of the factors responsible, of which they have talked about low self-esteem, but I don't